We'll take a short break, and when we
Yes.
come back, I'll be speaking to Jerison. And Jerison can talk, mind you. He runs Weaver Starfish, does a lot of social work, and he's done some great work in teaching kids how to read. So we're going to come back and...
Fantastic. Do stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Accurate, legitimate, and packed with information. First on site with reports from across the country and around the world. Be in the know through Bernama News Bulletins. Only on Bernama News Channel.
Hello and welcome back to Bernama Today. Jared Ratnam with you. Our feature interview today talks about a Quick Read 20 program. Now, what's this all about? Joining us is Jerison Abraham Doss, who's the boss of Weaver Starfish, the big man, the founder of Weaver Starfish. Yeah, he's been here many times, and I'm sure some of us who join us usually on our shows are well acquainted with Jerison. Jerison, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And I like the quote, that's really nice.
Oh, okay. So I'm actually the co-founder together with my wife.
Right.
Yeah, so she's the one who is the driving force behind the operational activities.
How do you mean when you say your wife's a driving force?
Well, she has the passion to serve. On my side, yes, I do have that, but I also have to look at it as from a business point of view.
Right.
Because for us, how we sustain is, we are a social enterprise, which means that, we are actually raising funds through the sale of our bottled water, and our profits go towards educating children.
Okay, now there's this program called the Quick Read 20 program, and it sounds very interesting on the outset. Apparently in 19 days or in 20 days.
20 days,
In
yes.
20 days, these people can teach kids how to read. And tell us how this exciting thing came about.
Yeah, because there was this group of teachers that we heard about. They are from ICINA, and it's led by Kat Liza. And we heard about them. They used to go to interior areas, like the rural areas of Sarawak, and they live with the community for 20 days. And they came up with this niche technique that we heard about. And because on my side, we have an orphanage, we have a shelter for abandoned youths. So what we wanted to do is to engage them to help us. And they were kind enough to do a train the trainers. So when we were the recipients of such a program, and we realized that, wow, it's fantastic. 20 days, any child above 7 years old, if they go through the program, they're able to read with 90% success. Now, why not 100%? It's because maybe some children are ADHD, dyslexic, traumatized. So yes, they will not benefit fully from this program, but 90% success. And then we were ready to roll with it because it was a fantastic program for my crowd. One of the biggest challenges is, that I place people in jobs, especially a special crowd, the homeless, the ex-addicts, the graduates from rehab center. And my biggest challenge is when I get them and they are unable to read, write or count, then it's totally a physical, labor-intensive job, which still requires for them to even fill up a form. Or when they get paid with their salary, how much do they get paid? If they can't read, it is so difficult. So that is why my focus was to help children read in the fastest possible manner, and this actually worked.
Right. So where did this project take place? Your pilot project, so to
The
speak.
pilot projects we ran in our shelter, we ran in our centers, and then eventually the Orang Asli community, who initially approached us for job employment. And when we tried it with them, we realized that because of intimidation factors of coming to,
Why aren't they going to school, if I may ask?
They are not going to school mainly because somehow some families don't see that as priority, because they're looking at livelihood. Now, yes, at a younger age, the parents find if the school is nearby,
The reason I ask you
them.
this is because this message is always distorted. No, they're not going to schools because schools are not given to them, this, that. I think, enough schools, then there's still work to be done. It's a work in progress, but I guess the work is being done. Schools are being brought to them.
I think the government has taken a lot of initiative to help them. Sadly, not many people see this because unless you travel out, you may be able to see the efforts put in place. But also looking at some of these communities are living in areas that are, it's remote It's hard to access.
And they don't see a need to
Yes,
go
they
to
don't
school.
see the need to go to school. Now, when they do come to school, because the struggle, because end of the year, they have to move on to the next standard and the next standard. Now, let's not talk about Orang Asli alone, okay? Let's not talk about the indigenous people in the rural areas. Let's talk about even in KL. We looked at schools where children are unable to read when they're even standard 5 and standard 6, and assessment has been done. So if the, at the end of the year, they have to move on to the next standard. And by standard 5, if they're unable to read, what has happened is statistics have proven
Why aren't they able to read by standard 5?
sometimes they were left out. Not everyone moves in a same pace.
Right. But also there's a flip side to that, simply because there are kids who have ADD, ADHD, there's dyslexia,
Yeah.
and when you come from the B40 group, and I really don't like using, although it's a term we use now,
Yes.
I really don't like, putting people, pigeonholing people, but when you come from the working class or from poverty, people don't see, diagnose these things, it goes by. So, the kid might be having attention deficit disorder, might be having some other problem, and he or she will not be able to read. And
exactly. I just want to share this. I am dyslexic. I only learned how to read in standard 5.
Right.
Now, back then, when I came from Chukai Kemaman, a fishing village, right, not many people knew what was the issue with me other than he's not smart, he's dumb. He's unable to cope up.
Right.
And I couldn't
I
differentiate.
mean, ADHD and ADD and dyslexia back in the 80s, in the mid 90s,
Yes.
were known as stupid boy.
Yes.
He's a stupid boy.
So
Just
that's-
send him to work.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So that crowd gets a little bit more attention, but with the rest, they were left out. They were left out. Maybe their priorities, or probably a bit slow to catch up. But the statistics have shown that once they reach Form 2, they are not interested in studies because they're totally left out. And once they're left out, what school is not interesting other than the negative influence, which kind of entices them.
Right,
To
when you
go
have
to
to play catch up, it's quite hard, and then you give up after a while.
Exactly. And just another thing is this. Sometimes, we've been focusing on the underprivileged, marginalized communities, but now the approach for us to come there and educate the usual crowd that goes to school who's been left out is because we don't want them to fall back
Okay.
and lose out.
Okay.
So assessments have been done in schools whereby it was funny that it was in scale, it was like 4 out of 10 students can't read at the age of standard 4.
Right. So how do you go out and help them? Where do you find work? Like with a project like this, you want to embark on going to teach kids how to read. How do you divide your time and send your people out?
Well, we collaborate, okay? So there are amazing teachers from ICINA who will handle the assessments, and they will go and they will find out which school needs
If
this.
I'm going to Google ICINA, it's
I-SINA, S-I-N-A, and they are so niched and they're so dedicated to the fact that they actually live with the community for the 20 days, and that's where you see progress.
Right.
It's done 20 days in a row. So they do the
just explain
assessment.
this to us. We're playing the video now about one of your Viva Starfish projects. Of course, we're digressing here, but this is the work you do, isn't it?
Yeah, so we have a center to educate marginalized communities, and again, I focus on placing them in jobs. But to reverse back, in order for me to be able to successfully place them in jobs, if they have a reading difficulty, it is a challenge. So that is why my focus is read, write, and count. There's fantastic materials out there and techniques out there, but this seemed to help my crowd pick up faster.
So also, just off the air, you were talking about getting help from various, NGOs, people or people within the private sector who want to help out. You're willing to receive help from them. You need help from them.
Definitely.
What kind of help do you need?
So one example is Mr. Marcus Wong from BNI in Malaysia give us counsel, and he saw the need to educate them to read. So collaborations are important because we get to create a bigger impact. That is why we managed to successfully educate 213 children to read. It's because of collaborations with organizations. They have an operational focus, but we have the grassroots team to carry out the work and create this impact. But it only can be done with collaboration. So yes, we are open with collaborations. Anyone who wants to create that impact, which thereafter makes my task easier when we
Right.
go towards job placements.
We've got about 2 minutes left, and we need to make good use of this time. So the prerequisite for them to teach reading is for the kids to be able to sing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay,
Yes. And
whether it's
7 years
LMNO or LOMNO, doesn't matter. As long as they know that, you can teach them, right?
You can
okay.
teach them.
We've got 2 minutes left. What do you want to tell? What do you want Malaysia to know about your going out and teaching kids how to read, and what kind of help do you need at this point?
Okay, I think what's important is first to experience it, because only when you experience it you can see and feel the impact. So once if companies or corporates are interested to create an impact, they have to experience it, and once they see it work, they will realize that a initiative like this will go a long way, because you are providing the basic fundamentals for them to be able to gain access to knowledge. So that is why we're looking at corporates who want to create this impact. They want to team up with my entire team. That would be fantastic, and from there we'll be able to reach out to not only the marginalized communities, but even those who are struggling to read before they end up falling back and joining the negative
Right.
route.
So if I'm going to try to Google Viva Starfish and try to get more information, can I Google Viva Starfish?
Yes.
So it's Viva Starfish.
Viva Starfish Project. You can Facebook us, and that's where most of our activities
Facebook.
are. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
So it's Viva Starfish on Facebook. Okay. Viva Starfish Project, not Viva
Yes.
Starfish. There. You can get all the information you need with regards to all the programs that they're running. They're running some really awesome programs. He's been here before. This guy's done great service to the nation. Being a state footballer, you've played for 2 states. Now you've gone on to do this. What drives you to do this every day? We've got about 20 seconds left. You need to make it really quick.
What drives me? I think I would like to see a change. And instead of complaining about a lot of things, my team and I believe that we just go down, just do the routine of doing something, and eventually we saw amazing things happen.
Right. For you, it is be the change you want to see.
Yes.
Yeah. On that note, on behalf of our team right here at Bernama today, I'm Jared Ratnam signing off. We just spoke a little bit about Viva Starfish and their Quick Read 20 program. You have a great day ahead, and thank you very much for joining us and for staying with us on BNC. This is Bernama today. I'm Jared Ratnam signing out.